my father lived every word he preached every day. He was a lover of Jesus and a lover of people. He was a master speaker. I have many personal notes from thousands of messages throughout the years as I sat and took while I heard him preach, as he poured that word into me, like he did many of you. Recently, I told him how now I really understand what an incredible wordsmith he is, and what a student he was. He could out-preach, with all due respect, the greatest preachers with skill and with grace. He was a master at setting you up for what was coming. I sat on the edge of my seat, waiting in expectation for what was coming out through him from up above. And he never disappointed. But this man, who Grandma Rose planned to call Ruth, was made to be David, a shepherd, a warrior, a king. He was destined to be David and Moses and Abraham and Isaiah and Peter and Paul and John all in one. He lived a purpose-driven life every second, every day, really hard to keep up with. Let me tell you a few things you may not know about him. The man at the dry cleaners loved him. He would never let him carry out his own clothes. He never asked for that. The men at the clerks at the Home Depot loved him. And they saw him almost every day. The guys in the tackle and bait shop loved him. Loved to talk about what kind of bait to catch what kind of fish. That worked in the church and on the ocean. Yeah. The local Italian grocery stores and his favorite pizza places loved him. He loved thin, crisp Napolitan pizza with marinara sauce and fresh mozzarella. He loved to eat ice cream, often out of the container, standing by the freezer and leaving a spoon in there, which Mom would always catch the next day. Steve, my brother, affectionately called him Snack Man. We used to hear him sneak down the stairs at night and creak open the drawer and find whatever snack he wanted. He was a crazy Met fan, a crazy Knick fan, a crazy Jet fan, a crazy Giant fan. I used to love to ask him over and over, from a young girl till now, Dad, tell me how do you position your fingers on the seam to throw a curveball like that? And he would try to explain, but I just never could get it. Love to talk to him about those things. As you heard, he was scouted by the Brooklyn Dodgers, a young boy who was a very talented baseball player, pitcher. And I asked him so many times over the years, Dad, do you ever regret not playing Major League Ball? I mean, you could be owning teams now. You could be managing the best teams in the world. And he would always say the same thing. How could I regret what God has done in my life? How could I ever regret? Like my sister Jody said this morning, he was not just our father, shared with all of you. He was our friend. If we had fears, frustrations, victories, or just whatever, his ear was always there for us. If he had no advice, which he always had advice, he would just smile, that big smile, head up, squinty eyes, big hand on the back, on the cheek. He never compromised his conviction, never. His infectious smile and the twinkle in his eye lit up any room, often rooms full of people, like tonight. But when he spoke to you, you were the only person alive. Are you with me? Come on, talk to me a little bit. Daddy was incredibly generous. He talked about giving because he was a giver. My son, my nieces, and nephews always had big bills stuffed in their hands, their pockets, their purses. Any major purchases in my life, my sisters, brothers' lives, my mom and dad sewed first to give us everything they didn't even have in the beginning, so we could live the best life we could. Yeah. My dad could fix anything. The toilet, the sink, a broken cabinet. Dad, can you stop by? What's going on? And whatever it is, he could fix it. If you made the mistake of telling him that you wanted to do some kind of improvement on your house, or purchase something for your kitchen or your living room, you had to be either really specific or really careful. Not too long ago, he called me in the morning and he said, "Hello, beautiful." This was my dad. "What's going on?" "I don't know, Dad, I was thinking about getting, a glass door for my front. I feel like getting a glass door." "What do you mean?" So I described what I meant. "Okay, I love you. Have a good day. You too." I went to work. I came back. And there he was, putting in my glass door. I think Jacqueline got to the point where she stopped saying what she needed. Oh. He used to love to call me on the way to Costco or the Acme or Stop and Shop and say, "Hello, beautiful. I'm going to Costco. Do you need anything?" "No, Dad, I'm great. I'm good. I'm going to go to the store later." "Are you sure you don't need anything?" "I'm sure." "Ah, come on, you have to need something." "Okay, Dad. Okay, maybe get me this and that." "All right, honey, I'll do that. No problem." He would show up in about an hour with about 4 times what I asked for. And he always brought me olive oil. Extra virgin, cold pressed, organic olive oil. The best. Oh, Dad would never run out of paper towels and toilet paper. If you looked into our little storage closet, There was so much, and Mom would go, I don't know what I'm going to do with all this stuff. Where am I going to put it? So we would just drop in and take a couple of rolls. David Thomas Demola was a carpenter, a gardener, an athlete, a musician, a shopper, a student, a teacher, a friend, a pastor, a lover, a fighter, a visionary, a laborer. He was a fisherman and a fisher of men. He was a missionary and an apostle. He was a prophet, a crier. He was an evangelist, and he loved to cook. He was a disciple, and he trained disciples. He was crazy about electronics and cars and trucks and boats, but they meant nothing to him next to touching people and changing a life, reaching out and covering anyone with grace. You had the privilege of calling him Pastor Dave, Apostle Demola, Dr. Demola, Reverend Demola, your teacher, your leader, your mentor, and so did I. But from the time I could speak until the last conversation we had, he called me beautiful daughter, and I called him daddy. I will honor my father, my pastor, my personal teacher, my hero, my mentor, my confidant, my encourager, my cheerleader, my friend, as I always did, for the rest of my days, by magnifying the name of Jesus. 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 I will bring this grace, so easily accessed through faith, to the world, and say what David Thomas Demola taught me for as long as I can remember. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he's good, and his mercy endures forever. Let the redeemed of the Lord say so, for the Lord is good, and his mercy endures forever. This grace will continue and remain, and this generation will receive this grace, and we will see everything he dreamed, everything my father paved the way for, come to pass in our generation. Give thanks to God, for his mercy endures forever.